Thank you, Madam Speaker. Yesterday, the Premier released a preliminary report into permitting. It was really disgraceful that this is an official publication of the Government of Manitoba. It has pages of anonymous, unsubstantiated attacks. It has rumors and speculation. For example, on page 23, it says, "We heard speculation that municipalities may have grey books." Then goes on to say, "We have not uncovered any evidence that these exist." But on page 55, the report faults the City of Winnipeg for using its permit reserve to fund general revenues. I table a document showing that in 2013, when the Finance Minister was a councillor, he called for the City to do just that. Was the Minister wrong then, or is he wrong now?
The Honourable Minister of Municipal Relations.
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker, and certainly I thank the member for the question. And I'll have the member turn to page 63 in the document, Madam Speaker. I assume that he has read the entire document and hasn't cherry-picked, Madam Speaker. But, you know, the bottom line is this side of the House is very concerned about economic development, not only for Winnipeg, Madam Speaker, but for the entire province. Page 63, Madam Speaker, shows investment in the City of Winnipeg has gone from 82% to 67%, Madam Speaker, in a year and a half. That's not the direction the City of Winnipeg needs to go, Madam Speaker. We're working collaboratively with our partners at the City and across Manitoba to get it right, Madam Speaker.
The Honourable Leader of the Second Opposition on a supplementary question.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The report says, and I quote, "There is a general perception the City of Winnipeg has a broken system and culture." End quote. This is the way I've often heard this government described as well. The report is so badly executed, it would seem the minister who oversaw it has had multiple lapses in memory. The minister also seems to have an issue with how the way the city relies on utility dividends to balance their budget to the tune of $38 million last year. Did he forget that that was also his recommendation and decision in 2011? Or that the province pulled $383 million from Manitoba Hydro, accounting for 2.4% of the province's total revenue? Can the minister explain to the House how he believes these to be different, or perhaps whether he's had a change of heart?
The Honourable Minister of Finance.
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker. What we have found out from the report and what we know is that it's important for economic development to ensure that permits and inspection fees happen in a robust way. We know that the provincial GDP could grow by $17 million by just cutting down the permits inspections timeframe by 1 day, Madam Speaker. We also know that municipal tax base could increase by over $400,000 just on an annual basis if you're cut down 1 day in terms of delays. And we also know that provincial revenues could increase by over 1.7%. We think with working municipalities and all these bodies, we can be more efficient and effective. It can grow the Manitoba economy, which is so important for Manitoba.
The Honourable Leader of the Second Opposition on a final supplementary.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's amazing that anyone who reads this report could understand how the Minister of Finance could possibly be neutral on the projects it names and some more that it notably doesn't. The report completely glosses over that the city has called for a formal inquiry into the police headquarters project, the fire halls that were built on land the city didn't own, and some 33 other civic real estate deals, all of which happened while the finance minister sat on that council. An inquiry the Premier and his finance minister have said they won't call because there's a criminal investigation involved. It does mention its concern for the lack of development at Parker Lands, which is also currently before the courts due to a rushed land swap deal that was part of the audits, which the minister also sat on the council for. Will the minister and the Premier and this government call for a real public inquiry into the development deals he oversaw as both the chair of the Finance and Property Development Committees?
The Honourable Minister of Municipal Relations.
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker. And first off, I'd like to commend the independent civil service in the Treasury Board Secretariat, Madam Speaker, for doing some great work, Madam Speaker, in a very short time, and demonstrated that they are focused on outcomes, as this side of the House is, Madam Speaker, for all of government. I know the member opposite enjoys quotes. Let me leave him one for today, Madam Speaker. This report will send a tone for all of us, municipal and provincial, to better streamline our process and practices to attract more development and investment throughout this great province, Madam Speaker. Who said that? Mayor Crest from Brandon.